Hi, I'm Yeng. I'm doing my master in OUM. So this presentation is about the assignment for this subject, quality of educational environment for young children. And in this assignment, I'm required to observe a preschool setting and to focus on their environment and one of the daily routine. Then I will give recommendation to improve about their experience. Okay, and let's look at this, the layout of each function areas. So you can see this is the ground floor, and we have a front gate and side gate. Usually the side gate is closed, and every morning the children will enter the school through the front gate, and they will pass by this concrete floor, the empty area for activities, and go into their class. So this area is for activities like group play. Okay, and I've noticed that there is no any other learning materials or any furniture in this area. So this is just an empty area. And beside this area, you can see a grassy ground. This area, you can see that we have seesaw and the slide, which are child size and suitable for the children to play independently. And behind we have a sand area, and this sand area is not sheltered. Alright, and beside the sand area there's a tree, and over here there is a water hose for the children to clean up themselves before they enter the class after the outdoor play. And you can see over here, this is the indoor area of the school. So after they enter the school, the children will keep their shoes at the shoe racks for every children. Alright, and children who are 4 years old, they have their class over here, so they will keep their bag in the bag rack here. Alright, and there is only 3 tables in this class because there is only 12 children who are 4 years old for this school. And this is the whiteboard and the teacher's table. Alright, and behind we have 2 toilets with totally same design. And the kitchen area is not used by the students because there is no cookery class in this preschool. Okay, and move on to the staircase going up. So this staircase connecting the ground floor and the first floor, and after you went up from the staircase, you will see the waiting area. This is just an empty area. Okay, and this is the largest classroom in this preschool, the classroom for 5 years old. So there are 4 tables for children and teacher's table, and these 2 are the whiteboards in the class. Other than this furniture, there is no any other furniture in the class. Alright, and the children, when they enter the class, they will put the bags over here on the floor. Okay, and this is the classroom for 6 years old, and same, the children will enter the class, keep their bags over here on the floor beside the wall, and there are only 3 tables because the class is smaller and there are less students. Alright, and this is the resources or teacher's room, which I'm not allowed to enter. And over here, this is the dramatic playroom. Alright, so there is a little stage on this room. We call it performing area, and you can see there are some clothes and props provided in this room, and there is a little mirror so that the children can dress up themselves and they can look at the mirror to check their appearance. Okay, so for this room, usually the children will have their dramatic play, they can have their performance over here. So according to the teachers, this room is usually the children will enter this room once in a week to have their performance here, like storytelling, singing, dancing, or even dramatic play. Okay, and next I'll talk about recommendation for improvement on the outdoor areas. So since this area is quite empty, I recommend the teachers to put more learning materials. Okay, learning materials. For example, they can plant more plants like flowers or grass or the little trees. Okay, like cactus, so that the children can learn about different plants, or they can learn more about from the environment, from the nature, through their 5 senses as well. Okay, so for example, the teacher, when they plant different plants, the children can learn about the plants through their smell, through their eyes, when they see it or when they hear it, because the plants will attract different insects. Yeah, they can see it, they can hear it, and they can even touch the plants. Okay, next I recommend a working area, because this area is very empty. okay, and the teacher can put some benches or chairs or even a small table for the children to gather together to discuss about their learning outcome from the outdoor play. Okay, and next, a pathway is needed, I think. So the pathway connecting from the door, the side door, to the sand area or to the playground area is needed for safety issue, because especially after rainy day, this floor, the grassy ground, will be very slippery. Yeah, so the pathway made by stones can be made, or made by sand can be made, okay, for their safety issue. And next, the sand area is not sheltered. This is the issue. So I think shelter can be made for this area to protect the children from UV rays of the sun, especially on sunny day. And it can also protect the children during the rainy day, and the shelter won't affect their play. Okay. And next, about the indoor area. So learning materials are needed for every classes. Alright. So for example, the teacher can put some blocks, some toys, some soft toys, some puppet, or they can even paste some pasting on the wall, like the chart, like for example body parts, okay, or letter chart, ABC chart. Yeah, so when the children look at the chart, they can learn about it independently. Okay, and next, this wall is very empty, so I recommend the teachers to paste some artworks of the children. So for example, when the teacher pastes the artworks of the children can actually feel more confident, can boost their self-esteem, because they can see that their artworks, their hard works are appreciated. Alright, and this is also one of the means of communication between teachers and parents. Okay, and moving on to the first floor. So same, learning materials are needed in every classes. Okay, and bag racks are needed for these two classes, because the children just place their bags on the floor. It is quite messy, I would say. So some furniture like rack, some shelves or a cupboard can be placed in the classroom. And when the children learn to keep their bags on the shelf, this can actually train their self-discipline, and this is one of the life skills. Okay, and this wall is empty, so the teachers can paste the artworks of the children as well. And next, on this dramatic playroom, so toys or materials to enhance the pretend play or dramatic play can be provided more in this room. Okay, because even though there are clothes and props in the room, I would say it is quite limited, because when the children enter this dramatic playroom, it's like more than 10 of them will enter and at once, and not everyone can get the opportunity to play the things together. Okay, so more toys or more materials need to be provided to enhance their learning process. Next, I'll talk about the dismissal routine. This is one of the routines that I have observed during my observation day, and for this routine, it lasts about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, and there are group and individual activities. For group activities, there are singing and dancing. So the children will gather together in a classroom. Usually they just stand in front of their own desk and they will do the singing and dancing. Okay, and they will sing two songs. The first song is the song that related to the content that they have learned throughout the month. And another song, the second song, is always the same. It is the goodbye song. Alright, and individual activities is about packing their own personal belongings. Alright, so after the singing and dancing, the children will pack their own belongings and went to the waiting area. Go to the waiting area and wait for their name to be called. Okay, so one teacher will stand at the door to look for the parents. So when the parents come, the teacher will call their names. Okay, and the teacher over here at the first floor will bring the children down and put on their shoes and go home. Alright, and the recommendation for improvement. Alright, so for group activities, singing and dancing, I would say the teacher can make more space for the children, because during my observation, I saw that the children is quite struggling to make some movement. For example, when they want to stretch their arms, there are no space for them to do that. So maybe the teacher can move the children to a corner, make a circle, and do the singing and dancing together. Okay, and tailor the circle closing activities according to the age group. So I would say children who are 5 to 6 years old, they are able to think independently. Their cognitive skills are more advanced already. So they can do self-reflection and do goal setting. For example, they can reflect on what they have learned today. Okay, let's share about the things that we have learned, or they can do some goal setting like what are we going to achieve next day, tomorrow. Okay, so of course, the singing and dancing part can be remain. It is quite fun and it is one of the routine for the children. But the teacher can add on these two activities, the reflection and goal setting for children who are 5 to 6 years old. Alright, and also transition to the waiting area is very messy. So the teachers can, instead of asking every children to go out all together at the same time, teacher can do group by group. For example, she can ask this table to go out first and next move on to another table. Okay, this can enhance the experience as well. And individual activities, packing the personal belongings. I observed that the teacher is quite busy in asking where is the owner of this object, okay, in this time. So to make the process more effectively and more efficiently, the teacher can use more effective instructions, do it more firmly, okay, and try to let the children to know what is the expectation of the teachers. Okay, so for example, instead of saying it's time to keep, the teacher can try to be more specific in the instruction and more firm. For example, she can say, so it's time to keep all your personal belongings in your bag. I don't want to see anything left out in the classroom. Okay, and also the teacher can use desk check by using the visual cue or the checklist. Okay, so she can do like this. The checklist, she can paste the checklist on the whiteboard with the picture of some stationeries or personal belongings like water bottles, pencils, color pencils, crayons, erasers. Okay, so when the children have this visual cue, they will look at it and they will check whether they have all the things inside the bag. So this can facilitate the procedure, and also set rules during the waiting area. So I observed that the children they run around in the waiting area, and they even play hide and seek, and it is very noisy in that situation. So to make this situation more effective, more efficient, in terms of the sending off process, the teachers can set rules for the children. For example, she can say you all have to be quiet in this area and line up and sit down. Okay, you can play with your toy, you can talk to your friends, you can even read some books, but try to keep your volume low so that you won't interrupt others. Alright, and also children who are 4 years old, they can actually wear their shoes first before they go to the waiting area. So this can reduce the children who wear their shoes at the shoe rack area in the same time. Okay, and also the teachers can provide bench or chair or even footstools for the children to wear their shoes more effectively. Okay, when, for example, you can see when the children they sit in this posture, it will be easier for them to put on their shoe, and this can make the process faster. Okay, so I have said that children who they are quite struggling when they put on their shoes because they have to stretch their arms, stretch their legs. Yeah, so try to provide more bench or more chairs or even footstool for the children to facilitate the shoe wearing process. And that's all from me today. So for this assignment, I have the great opportunity to observe the environment of preschool setting, because usually in previous assignments, I only focus on the delivery skills of the teachers or focus on the content learned by the children. So in this time, I have the opportunity to focus on the environment and also the daily routine as well. So actually I realized that environment is really the third teacher of the children. Yeah, it means a lot for the children. Like for example, anything pasted on the wall can carry a very great learning values for the children. Yeah, and that's all from me. Bye bye. Thank you.